That's it. That's it, man. That's it, isn't it? Hang on, hold on, looking this way. 1, 2. Get your toes in the basket. Oh, a little bit shallow though, look. Right. Should get all out.
Hello, flat earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. Is that a bulge I see before me? You see that horizon? Okay, that is not a bulge of water rising up in front of me. I'm on a very steep hill near Patong in Phuket. To show you, I mean the top's just up there. I filmed this before, but I've got to drive this point home for those people who continue to insist, without testing it for themselves, that the horizon doesn't rise to eye level. It does, yeah? And as I've demonstrated before, if this was a physical hump of curvature, or a bulge, or whatever you want to call it, then it would be higher than eye level. You understand? If you are looking into a physical bump, it is higher than eye level. But what happens when you look at a horizon, as you come up above the brow of the hill, that horizon, wait for the bike, is right there at eye level. And as you come down towards the sea, it remains at eye level. And everything, for example, these posts up here, the horizon will come up and down depending on your height, because the horizon stays at eye level and your relative height changes to those posts, yeah? Anyone can make these observations and realize that the horizon is just something that is indicating to us that the surface is flat. It tells us it's flat, okay? There is no need to go on about drops in horizon. It's just a ridiculous argument, because if you're talking about a drop, I mean, look how fuzzy that horizon is. It's not very clear. If I was down on the beach and I was low to the surface, it would be a very distinct, clearly defined horizon. But the higher you get, the more air and everything is in between you and the distance that you can see. So it just becomes fuzzy and blurry, yeah? And this is just common sense observations that anybody can make. But people still come along with their ridiculous, childish denial, and it's so obvious that all they are doing is defending a belief, because they absolutely refuse to look. It's like people, it's like when you're a kid and you think there's a monster under your bed, and you're there quaking under the covers, but you don't dare to look under the bed. It's only when you look under the bed you realise there is no monster. Flat Earth is the monster under the globehead's bed. And they're just too afraid to look, and they'll spend so much time and energy defending this religious belief. Spinning ball religion just drives me nuts, and that's why I keep on doing these videos. If you want me to stop, you globeheads, just stop commenting. Stop trying to tell me I'm wrong, because I know I'm right. Yeah? The flat Earth is so obvious. Once it's okay if you don't believe it, or you don't, you know, it takes a while to get through, and someone points it out to you, you hear about it, you ignore it for a while, and then you can start looking into it. That's all very well, and you know, it takes people time to deconstruct the belief. But eventually, if only if you are open-minded enough, if you can, you know, the very fact that you come along and leave these excuse me, comments of denial is just showing your inability to take things and consider them. So it makes me laugh. It does make me laugh, but it makes me angry at the same time that we have been enslaved on a ball in our minds. And we're all just petrified. We've come so comfortable. We've just become scared. All right? No more ridiculous comments about the horizon doesn't rise to eye level or 3 degrees drops and all that crap. The fact is, it doesn't matter where you are. The perspective causes the surface and the sky to converge in the center of your field of view from the start. On the ground. Here's a hill. Look. If there's a bulge in front of you, it goes above eye level. You understand? Yeah? The camera is level. So this is a hill. As we are shown on this circle thing of the Earth with someone looking down into the bulge of curvature, that's what it should look like, with a hump above eye level. Turn it around, and there's the horizon off in the distance at eye level. Yeah? Horizon. Hump. Curvature. Flat. Yeah? That's flat, and you know it. That's a hump, and you know it. Yeah? Oh dear. Get over it. Get over yourselves, you big bloody baby ball earthers. Right, I'm going to show you the difference. I've come down the hill now. Just now we had a very fuzzy horizon, yeah? Now I'm near the surface. All right, again. There's the horizon at eye level. It's a lot clearer now, isn't it? It's a lot more clearly defined. I can't remember if that boat was in the last shot, but if it is, you would have seen that boat, the horizon was beyond that boat, just simply because it's a flat surface and we were higher up, so we could see the surface beyond that boat, yeah? But at the moment it looks to be on the horizon because we're lower. Okay, so hopefully that's in the other shot, but basically you can see that the horizon is a lot more clearly defined at this low level. Yeah? So again, it's just this ridiculous idea about the horizon drop. Okay, I've got the camera as level as possible. The horizon's at eye level, no matter how high or low you go. Yeah? Simple stuff. Right, so now I'm down very near the sea, and to illustrate this point about eye level, there's a block here, there's blocks along here. I'm going to put the camera on the block. Okay, flat on the block. Okay, alright. It's on the block, yeah? Look, you can see, okay. Ta-da! What do we have? A horizon at eye level, okay. It might even be appearing to be lower, just because of the kind of the base of the camera, and who knows how level this actually is, yeah? But essentially, and that's the thing, it doesn't matter whether you've got a theodic, but what we've got is a very sharply defined horizon, okay? Yeah? Alright, now look, there's a boat, alright, on the, there it is, okay? We're quite low, and that boat's not very far away. So the horizon is beyond it, yeah? Alright? But look, if you compare that to the boat over there, the ship over there, I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera. There you go. I mean, that ship appears to be on the horizon, but that could go further and further and further away, and it would remain on the horizon. And it'd probably get to a point where it would just get very fuzzy and we wouldn't be able to see it. Yeah? Because it's flat. Yeah? Look at that. Okay, really simple stuff. But this horizon that we can see at a low level compared to what we could see higher up is still at eye level. And of course the one higher up was kind of fuzzy because we're just seeing further across that surface, and there's just more thicker. I mean, it's just as you can see in the light reflection, yeah? We're still seeing a great distance across the surface, but the further we can see, the more and more and more and more condensed it all gets. Yeah? Just like the lines of perspective that you see on any kind of illustration of perspective, or grid lines or whatever. It just gets more and more and more condensed, infinitely, until you just can't see any further. Call it the angle of attack or angle of incidence of reflected light, whatever it is. This tells us it's flat. Again, if it was a hump of curvature, it would look like this. Yeah, it would be bulging up in front of us, and we'd see this difference in the way the surface looks. It looks flat, because it is. Yeah? How many times do I have to show this? And how many times are people going to deny it before they actually go and test it for themselves? That's all you've got to do. Go and test it for yourselves. And take into consideration the fact that a flat surface appears to rise. See? This is because of perspective. I actually have to raise my hand up to get it in line with the flat surface that's over there. Perspective. Yeah? And I'm telling you now, the angle of convergence like this that we see, yeah, the way things angle down, all right? You know what that angle is? 23.4 degrees. Yeah? Or 46.8 altogether. Yeah? So a triangle, if you imagine a cone of perspective, okay, yeah, everything is converging. If there was nothing there, then we would just have this convergence, all right? Perspective converges, everything converges, right? But it's flat, so it just carries on appearing flat. But if you want to represent these angles of convergence, if you did it from an external frame of reference, then if you take the angles of a triangle that are 66.6 degrees on the base, so if you 66.6 here, 66.6 here, and then what you're left with at that peak, the peak of the cone of perspective is 46.8, because all the angles in a triangle add up to 180, right? So yeah, and you can check this with a 50mm camera. You get about the same, and the 50mm camera, the focal point is similar to the human eye. Okay, so the numbers you get when you consider this tunnel or cone of perspective is 66.6, 66.6, 48 point. What is it? 46.8. I can't remember. It's basically. It's what you end up with on either side. So if you split that cone of that tip, and you divide it with the line of sight, you end up with 24.3 degrees either side. The same as the axial tilt, or the difference, the angle that is the difference between the equator that they tell us we have on the globe Earth and what do you call it, celestial equator. Yeah, okay, so they give you two equators on the globe Earth. Yeah, you've got the celestial equator, which is what we actually look at when we see the stars coming up from the horizon. The celestial equator is what's directly in front of us at eye level, but they tell us it's tilted on the globe because they're compensating for perspective, the 23.4 degrees of perspective. Okay, so axial tilt and all this segment of the globe that they cut out and tell us is tilted is perspective. That's why perspective is the imaginary curve And the mathematics is the same for perspective as it is for this chunk that they take out. Yeah? And tilt and tell us we're on a ball. Think about it. Think. And most importantly of all, make your own observations and think some more about how we've been deceived. Deceived into ignoring perspective and looking across a flat surface and believing it's a ball, and believing that the sun sets because we're moving. No, the sun moves. It's so obvious, but we've been brainwashed into believing something completely different. You know, lies perpetuated by what? School teachers making you hang globes on the ceiling in the classroom, and plastic globes, and Hollywood movies done by NASA for billions and trillions of dollars, and rockets going up that for some reason blokes get off on. It's flat, folks. It really is flat. And the laws of perspective tell us that, and they have been transformed and translated into an imaginary curve. Thank you very much.